Hey guys, Rubber Kitty here. How's it going? Another beautiful morning and cold as well. So this morning it's the art of conversation. I talk a lot about communication, honesty, words, definitions. The art of conversation. It struck me as things like talking with somebody is different than talking to somebody and talking at somebody. Now, some people think they're the same thing. Some people think that they're doing, talking with somebody when they're really talking at somebody. And I find it kind of funny that, some people think they're having a really in-depth conversation when there is no give and take in the conversation. It's pretty much one person talking at somebody. I guess case in point is like if you ask a question and someone goes on a tirade and doesn't allow any sort of other ideas and adjust their words, their phrases, their tone to accommodate your questions or to explain things to you further, then most likely they're probably talking at you. Hey Beagle. That can be kind of hard with conversation. Like the art of conversation, I think, is pretty much dying a lot, where you're not just sitting there talking about things and contemplating, looking at different angles, but you're more sort of just, you've got a whole script in your head and you're just talking to people or relaying that script over and over again to a lot of people. To me that must get a bit boring. I'd rather ask, so is this your point of view? Okay, so why did you reach that conclusion? Okay, that's your personal experience. So how do you really feel about that? And I'm trying to understand your point of view. Basically it's trying to understand somebody's point of view and getting people to understand your point of view, not at the same time, but taking turns to have that conversation, ask questions and explain stuff. So the art of conversation with all its nuances has, for me, been dying out a bit. Not with the people that I like to associate with, because I like to keep conversation interesting. Just phrases and words that people would say, like, a general broad brush, like all this and all that, and generalities. I can say generalities like, say, all men or all women, or most. I usually say most. There's some words that I just try to avoid and to clarify, but then I get jumped on. Sometimes I can say, like, most women are quite manipulative in their own way, and I'll be jumped on saying, oh, but not all women. I go, yes, but that's why I said most women. But then it's also a thing where most men are not very communicative in their feelings, or they just communicate in different ways than women. And a part of being human and having relationships, particularly between men and women, is to be able to find a common ground, to be able to understand each other. That's where the art of conversation, I think, has helped a lot in relationships, and where sometimes I think a lot of things fail because it's not like a stagnant thing. With new ideas, new thoughts every day, you do change. And as such, your way of communicating with people, your way of having conversations and discussions about issues with people will change with the introduction of new information and other people's points of view. So that's always something to be worked on. So the art of conversation. Do you find yourself saying some of the same things over and over again? Are they still valid for you at this point in time? Have you had a conversation with someone that you went, oh, okay, I didn't think of it that way, and changed a bit of how you explain things to people? I know I have, and doubtless I will in the future, because just to be able to communicate and change, I guess, phraseologies and words to be able to get people to understand what you're trying to tell them, because no one really knows what's going on in your head or understands what you're all about if you cannot communicate. And if obviously people do not understand, or there are mistakes made. Obviously there's been a failure in communication, not just on the part of the listener, but on the part of the person trying to communicate that information. So I guess yes, always and never. Yes, definitely, people, because you know what, Uncle Murphy will definitely like to prove you wrong all the time. Uncle Murphy, whenever you say always and never, he will come up and smack you down and say, oh really? So yes, anyway, beautiful, beautiful day. Look at this, lots of sun, lots of people working early in the morning. Oh my god. And some people say they have had a hard day. Some people get up at like before it's even light. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning to come out and to do things at South Bank, like gardening that, but not just people at South Bank, you know, like traffic controllers doing night shift and all that. There are awesome people. Also, before I forget, there is a gluten-free expo on the 26th and the 27th of this month, May, happening at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre for all my gluten intolerant friends. Okay? Anyway, art of conversation, some words to that, you know, for you to try to avoid. I try to avoid but, or if I use but, I use it very judiciously because I could say a whole lot of things, and then when people say but to me a lot, I go, okay, so what is it you really want to say? Not everything that came before the but everything that comes after the but, because sometimes they get butt face, and yes, there's such a thing as butt face, and it's not what you think. Anyway, love you guys, have a good day.